guys, so my name is Tessie, and today we're talking about the bad boy archetype or the bad boy trope. And I don't even have to explain it, you already know what I mean. It's Jamaica in all those Nigerian films where he's a hot boy on campus and he's a problem, he's danger, and Inedo is the innocent girl on campus that's trying to child, or it's that useless Massimo character in that 365 movie, or it's John Travolta in Greece. But basically, you're catching my drift. So let's just dive right into the video. Now, part of the reason why I wanted to make this video is because I was having this recurring argument with my cousin about whether or not nice guys finish last. Now, obviously, I said no, they don't, but a lot of girls have a tendency to gravitate towards, the bad boy or the dangerous guy, I think one reason might be the way that masculinity is portrayed in the media. And don't worry, this isn't a toxic masculinity video. Not today, but another day it will be. But basically what I'm saying is, in films, especially those made for young adults, the ideal male is not usually represented as somebody who is warm and kind and emotionally intelligent and emotionally available, a great communicator, a great teammate, self-aware. Even though these are all things that we all want in a partner, the ideal male is usually portrayed as somebody who is cool, detached, always saves the day, doesn't really need anybody, is stoic, doesn't really show his emotions. So I think a lot of people internalize messages like this. Now, I don't know if you've seen that movie on Netflix, that 365 movie, and I literally felt like my neurons were shriveling up as I was watching that movie. Oh my goodness. That movie was so messed up. This man kidnapped this poor Polish girl and told her that she has 1 year to fall in love with him. He barely, if at all, understood the rules of basic consent. I remember he kept telling her that, she should just be grateful that he has not raped her, because he can rape her at any time. But he chooses not to because he's a gentleman. But rubbish nonsense like this, the plot was very, very weak. And they supplemented the plot with very attractive leads, a lot of money, hotels, fancy cars, just basically the good life, a lot of sex, all these kinds of things, basically to build a fantasy, which I feel like was the point of the movie, to build a fantasy, not necessarily something that was, rooted in reality. But with all the things that were wrong with the movie, the moral of the story that my cousin picked from this film was that, you see, in this life, you actually just have to make money. Because all these things that Massimo did to that girl, you can't do, a poor man can't do it to that girl. You can't do it if you're a poor man. Which is, now, yes, it's problematic that was his major takeaway, but at the end of the day, he's not entirely wrong. I mean, money affords you a lot in life, especially the ability to be blatantly immoral and nobody will say anything about it. Like, if we actually start talking about all the things that Christian Grey did and that nobody said anything, you can't tie somebody's daughter and be flogging her like that if you don't have money. Like, part of why they were able to glamorize, the aggression and the toxic masculinity we see oozing from Christian Grey and people like Massimo is because of the position they're in. Movies are not inconsequential. They're part of the fabric of society. They're a reflection of who we are, the things we believe, and they also reflect to people what they should believe and buy into. So basically, yes, a lot of people buy into this bad boy trope. Now, I think a lot of women eventually outgrow, wanting the bad boy, and a lot of men probably outgrow wanting to be the bad boy, but I don't think that everybody does necessarily, right? So I think you kind of have, a lot of people who just are out there wanting just some good love, right? But are looking for it in the wrong ways. I keep wondering why all the puzzle pieces don't fit. The 365 movie is a perfect example of how some movies, romanticize, aggression and toxic masculinity, right? Massimo is hyper aggressive and rude and just completely without home training in a lot of ways, right? But he's still constructed as the ideal man, the peak of masculinity. He's beautiful, he's rich, he's this, he's that, and he eventually gets the girl at the end of the day. I mean, this is a common narrative that is usually perpetrated in film, and that's the problem, is that this movie is not an outlier. Lots of movies have characters like this. Now, alongside the bad boy archetype, there's also usually the good girl archetype, which is the pure innocent woman who's able to change the bad boy with her love, her good loving. Like, I remember there was this picture that was going around on social media one time, and it was a picture of like the devil, like the guy was actually the devil, like he had horns and everything, and there was not holding this woman, she was white, she was beautiful and everything. Basically, I think the story from the picture is that, she's love can change anybody, so she's changing the devil with her love. Allah magic can never actually be me, can't be me, God forbid. I'm not not Bob the Builder. I can't fix it. Nobody can fix anybody else with their love. Like, that is such a flawed narrative to push. And I don't know why movies keep pushing that narrative. Like, a prime example of where we see this good girl, you know, bad boy, love conquers all narrative is that show Lucifer, you know. Like, that is pretty much basically the plot of the film. Like, she changes the actual devil with her love. And I'm just like, I don't understand. Another one is Beauty and the Beast, and that's a very old one. It's how, you know, this beautiful woman with her love and her good heart and whatever is able to transform a man from a beast. And I think that it's easy to talk about it like these are just stories, but something that results from the fact that stories like this are constantly told is this narrative we have that you can be as damaged as possible, you know, but it just takes the right person to love you and love you in the right way to fix you. And all those other people that it not work with before, you're not the problem, they're the problem. You're not toxic, they're toxic, you know. But when you meet the right person, you know, the right woman, she will love you, you know, change your life, fix you, and all of that. And well, I have to say, I don't believe it though. I really don't. Nobody can fix anybody with their love. So I was watching this episode of Divorce Court, right? And you know, basically, and yes, I watched Divorce Court. I enjoy it very much. Mind your business. But basically in this episode, right, so this guy and this girl had been together for a couple of years. He had cheated on her a couple of times. She forgave, all of that. Because of her work, she had to travel a lot. So sometimes they were long distance, right? So apparently he had allegedly gotten this other girl pregnant, and they were doing a paternity test to figure out whether or not he was actually the father, right? Now, of course, my G kept denying it, that no, I'm not the father. What are you talking about? All of that. His stress was high. Now, his girlfriend told the judge, listen, Your Honor, I can't. This man has put me through a lot. Like, I love this man. I'm willing to forgive almost anything. But you see this one, I can't. If this is actually his child, we're not even married. And this man has been disrespecting me like this for how many? I just can't. They did the paternity test. It was his child. And then this man had the audacity to say, Your Honor, you know what, Sefing? Yes, it's my child. But if she really loved me, it shouldn't even matter that he's my child. It shouldn't even matter that I went and got another girl pregnant in the middle of our relationship. If she really loved me, she will stay with me. She will stick it out. I'm like, I said, Jesus Christ. Do you actually know that this is somebody's daughter that you're like? I could not believe the effrontery this man had to say such a thing with his mouth. Like, and I don't know if he was trying to be a bad person or anything, or if he just had such a flawed perspective of what love is and should be. It doesn't give, love is not a permission for you to disrespect somebody and treat them any kind of way and just assume that their love should conquer all at the end of the day. That if they really love you, they should stay with you and condone all kinds of bad behavior instead of holding yourself to a higher standard of accountability. Like, that's not, I don't know. I remember listening to this sermon that Pastor Mike from Transformation Church preached, where he was talking about how for some reason we seem to think that God will assign somebody to us to overlook all our messed upness, all our bad behavior, all our not taking accountability, you know, or holding ourselves responsible for our actions, and just love us anyway. Like God will assign to you a soulmate, right? But that's not the case, because he explained that, you know, if the most important thing to God is your salvation, like the most important thing, and he won't force salvation on you because he wants you to have free will. If he won't force salvation on you because the greatest thing he gave you was choice, what makes you think he will force somebody to love you or force you to love somebody else? No, you have the choice. And so the fact that they didn't work with the past 10 people doesn't necessarily mean that there's something wrong with them. Maybe there are some things you need to fix, or I need to fix, or I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but like that whole soulmate narrative that, you know, like it just the right person will come and love me and, you know, God will take care of it. No, like the right person might not want you as you are because you haven't taken the time to fix what is wrong. And this isn't me pointing fingers, like myself as well. We're all on this table together. Basically, I just feel like we all need to take the time to heal from whatever trauma we've experienced so that we can be ready for whoever God chooses to put in our paths, right? I heard somebody say one time that athletes don't start on the field when they're injured. So they take some bench time, you know, to heal up and get stronger and be ready to enter the game a strong player on the team when the time is right. And I feel like it's the same thing when it comes to dating and relationships and stuff like that. Everybody has trauma, everybody has issues, and a lot of the things that happened in your past may not be your fault, But it's now your responsibility to fix. The love of a pure man or pure woman cannot fix you. Only the love of God can fix any of us. And that requires your participation and your intentionality. I didn't mean to go on a preaching rant like that. I just wanted to give my thoughts about the whole bad boy archetype and the whole good girl archetype thing, and just how I feel like, well, some things are not adding up in the way that love is generally constructed in the media and in our society. As always, please leave your comments in the comment section below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Otherwise, I'll come to your house and I will shave your head. But until then, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.